All right, so I've already gone on too long, but I gave my review. I just have to kind of give my opinion on the subject matter here. We all have our own opinion on it. What I say here isn't to offend anybody or upset anybody, because, like I said, it's an extremely touchy subject matter. Some people have dealt with it, or different parts of it, and dealt with it in different ways. But here's my opinion. We have all dealt with things growing up and still deal with them today. Bullying, of course, has become a big thing now with the internet. That wasn't a big deal back when I was a teen, of course. AOL had just started popping and everyone was just sneaking off in chat rooms and stuff, but we didn't have social media. Now we have social media, and teens now are dealing with something completely different. They're not only having the bullying happen at school, but they're having it carry on beyond that with social media and the presence they have there. My opinion is, they're going to deal with some of it. There's no way around it. You can try to shelter and hide them, but life is life and it's going to happen. My belief is that the big thing this show addresses, and I think it kind of does it unintentionally, but it shows that parenting is what it's about. In so many scenes in this series, I just found myself sitting there like, yo, where are the parents? Or how can you not know where your kid is? I understand they're a teen, but they're still a kid. They still live under your roof. How do you not know where they are? Especially this day and age. You have cell phones. You can track them. I mean, you can find anybody. How do you not know where your kid is? Or how do you not know what they're into? And I'm not a parent, of course, but I was raised by two of them. And I know other ones. So my opinion is, when it comes to dealing with bullying in school, and bullying comes in many different forms. This show deals with several different kinds. Of course, sexual harassment as well. You have teen boys who don't really realize what they're doing. They don't realize that it's sexual harassment. And even if they do, they don't really care because they don't understand consequences at that age, I guess. And they have to have somebody there to show them and to teach them that. So I feel like parenting is getting so relaxed now. That these kids are coming out of their households already having the mentality of an adult, and they're not ready for that. They can't handle it. So I think that's why you have so many of them that crack, and they feel like they have no one there and they're empty, and they look to suicide or to drugs or to just going out and living these crazy lifestyles that they don't have to live. And I just feel like parenting kind of has to get back to the old school. I was lucky to get a phone call, to be allowed to get a phone call when I was in high school. That's how it was. And some might say, oh, that's too strict. But at that time, I agreed with you. But now I look at it and I get what my folks were doing. You need that structure. And while your kids may hate you at that time, I think later down the line, it pays off because they don't go through a lot of these things, a lot of these feelings. They might be angry at you because they didn't get to talk on the phone last night, or they didn't get to go to this party that wasn't safe, but you still have them. They'll still be there. They're not going to get hurt. And if they do come into contact with a situation where they could get hurt, they know how to handle it. There are so many cases throughout this series where I felt like Hannah would not have been in the situation she was in if she just had a little more guidance there. And it felt like a lot of what she went through was just because she wanted attention. Her parents, would check in with her every now and then. They did love her. They loved her to death. But they didn't actually get too involved with what was going on, especially being that they had just moved to this new town. So I feel like parents really have to get more serious overall about being in their child's lives as parents, as an authority, not as their friend. They'll have enough friends at school and they'll meet throughout life, but what they need is authority. And instead of trying to please them, guide them, and get them ready for what's coming, because later down the line when they become adults, they'll appreciate it. They'll most definitely appreciate it. I just feel like that's really what this show centered around, and that's the message that really stood out to me. I just feel like parents have to make sure that they're really giving their kids an environment where they always feel free and comfortable about expressing themselves to them, to the parents, and even to other authority figures. Hannah had opportunities to actually talk to her parents about what was going on. She witnessed a rape of a friend. And while it bothered her, she didn't feel comfortable enough to go anybody about it. A, because I feel like she wanted to be accepted by those people. And B, because I don't think there was an environment created for her to actually talk about these things. And then, of course, at the end of the season, she had the opportunity to really go in depth and talk about it to the counselor, and she just couldn't do it. But even after not giving him the information, she left and then even stopped to look back to see if he was going to follow her, looking for that attention, you know? So I feel like there really has to be a change in parenting overall, as far as just being in the kids' lives as an authority, but having a balance where they feel comfortable talking to you. That doesn't necessarily being their friend where they can run over you and make decisions and do what they want. It just means making them know why you're there. And kudos to my parents. You know, I can only speak from experience. They did that. They really made sure, you know, my pops, we would be scared of him a lot of times when it came to discipline, you know, but I know if I need to talk about something, he didn't hold back. He went into detail about things that we would see, things that we would experience and be tempted with. So when it came about, I was able to talk to them about it. And that made all the difference, man. It really did. So I feel like parents have to make sure they're really doing that, and they'll help prevent this kind of thing. I think too many are looking to the schools to do this, and these people have kids and families of their own. They're at work. That's just the truth. As much as they might care, they have a lot of kids to deal with. They can't know everything that's happening in the life of every single kid. The parents have to get involved. The household has to be a much better, stronger structure than it's become in these past several years, it seems like, overall. And lastly, one last thing and I'm gonna shut up. One more thing about that this show really centered around, I think, and I think this was intentional, but I really related to it, was how we categorize kids, especially when they hit the teen years, the high school years. You have the kids who are considered to be smarter, or the nerds, and the more scholastic type kids. Those are the ones you're pushing for to get scholarships, academic scholarships, concentrating on the grades and nothing else. Doing all the extracurricular clubs and everything. Then you got the other ones where it's almost like you're telling them, oh, you can't succeed in anything else, so run that ball. You know what I'm saying? Or, get out there and make them tackles, or go slam that ball, or go hit that home run. You have to be an athlete. We categorize them, and these kids, they go into these roles that are given to them, and they live by that. But then when they get out of school and those things are no longer an option, they don't know what to do. They're lost. All of their guidance went towards doing one thing, and they weren't ready for the other alternative that they're having to deal with now in their reality. I had the experience. I've only talked to a few people about it in detail, but I'll never forget it. One of the last things that happened to me before I graduated high school, a faculty member told me that I had wasted my years in high school because I didn't play football. And they were dead serious. And I was completely shocked. And I remember talking to my parents about it, and they were shocked. But they reassured me that I had done everything I was supposed to do, because it was all about being who I was and being my own man. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like children and teens need to be given more of an environment where, yeah, if you want to play football, cool, do that and excel at it. But also concentrate on those grades, and know that when you get out in the real world, it's not going to be categories. There aren't going to be jocks and nerds and cool and uncool kids and misfits. You're going to be an adult, and you're going to have bills, and you're going to have responsibilities, and those are going to have to be dealt with regardless of which one of those categories you came out of. So we just need to get more realistic, I think, about how children are dealt with and communicated with. But yeah, that's all I'll say. I'll shut up. I've gone on way too long. That concludes this review. Till the next review, hey.